All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to read your credit report and how to fix it. Now, if you're watching this video right now and you have a copy of your credit report, I highly advise you to pull it out so you can kind of read with it on it as I'm going through it. If you don't, I'm going to provide a link for you to get your credit report. This is a company I highly recommend, and I'll kind of go over the benefits of having them later on. But let's get started. And like I said, if you don't have your credit report in front of you, go ahead and pause this video and come back to it, okay? All right, thanks. Well, let's get started. So the first thing you're gonna see on your credit report is at the top, you're gonna see your personal information. Now, most of it's gonna start out like with your social, your address. Now this is very important, guys, that you make sure that everything is accurate. Something as simple as your address being incorrect could be enough for you to get credit declined. A lot of times when these companies do these soft inquiries, they're all just checking to make sure that the information that you have on that application matches with what's online. So this is very important to get that taken care of. Also, you want to make sure your employer is correct. When I did my credit report about a month ago, all three of those were wrong on all three of those. I had three different employers. I had three different addresses. Now they were places that I used to work at, and they were places that I used to live, but they weren't current. So highly advise you to look into that and make sure you get that gets taken care of. So going down to your credit history. Now, the most common thing that people have are inaccurate items on their credit. For instance, if they paid off a debt, and that didn't get deleted, or sometimes they'll resell your debt for a higher amount, and so it'll say you owe, like for instance on mine, I had like T-Mobile, and I canceled my service with them, and then for some reason when they and I thought I paid it off, I thought I paid the last payment, but anyways, for some reason they said that I owed them like $700. I'm like that's like a year of service with T-Mobile. Like, how does that even happen? So I'm in the process of getting that taken care of right now. Other thing is questionable items, similar to what the inaccurate ones. Some of them just maybe a couple $100 off, a couple $1,000 off. So that's why it's very important for you to know what's on there. The other thing is outdated information. Each state has different laws for how long something can stay on your credit. It could be 2 years, could be 3 years, could be 7 years. So any outdated information needs to be taken off your credit so it doesn't hurt your credit anymore. Another thing that can happen is you could have duplicate items. For instance, I had a guy who he has student loan debts, and there's one that's on there like 4 times. And I'm like, do you have 4 student loans out for the exact amount? He's like, no. And so we're working at getting that fixed and taken care of. And so other than that, a lot of people worry about inquiries. And now that does affect your credit, but not as bad as people think. But you could have excessive inquiries. For instance, like if you went to like a car lot and they wanted to see if your credit passed, but then they go and check with another lender and another lender, and so before long you could have multiple inquiries that you did not agree to, so you can get those taken off too. Another thing that happens sometimes is what's called a mixed credit. Let's say your spouse well, that's one example, but typically it happens with like family members or brother, sister, father, that's typically what happens when you get your credits mixed up. I don't know how that happens, but it does happen. So it's very important to get that removed and taken off your credit. Now, the last thing that you get, but it does happen, is identity theft and identity fraud. There's tons of scams out there that people are just skimming people's information, just trying to get credit in their name. So it's very important to constantly be checking your credit. The company that I recommend, and I'll provide a link, like I said, on this video for you to get your credit report. First of all, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to give you $1 million in protection against identity theft. They're also going to they have a program built in them themselves to help you dispute some of those things for you. On top of that, you can also, they do have a score tracker, so you can kind of see how your score is going. This is going up and down. They also have some tools to help you manage your money. So like I said, if you don't have your credit report now, please, and, oh no, what I forgot to mention too, is they allow you to check with all 3 bureaus At the same time, they allow you to check that once a month. So if you're using like Credit Karma or you're using any of these other free services, most of the time they use their own proprietary credit rating service. The problem with that, guys, is your lender does not use Credit Karma. You know, if you're trying to get a mortgage, you're trying to buy a car, whatever you're trying to do, they're probably not using, well, they're not using Credit Karma to see if you're credit worthy. So you need to know everything that's on your credit so it doesn't go against you. But thanks for watching this video. All right, bye.